Studio J in Atlanta, where we get set for Game 2 of our Thursday night double dip. Kyle Kuzma.
Boy, a star right there, Chuck. He a star.
And the Lakers.
You don't know that yet, Jack.
I know it.
On his way. On his way, Chuckster.
I can see it, Chuck.
Well, that's a star right there.
Yes, I agree.
To take on Russell
Big
Westbrook.
star.
Ernie, I got a great question
and the
for you.
Thunder.
For Ernie?
You have a great question.
How do you know it's great?
Because Ernie asked a question earlier.
Okay.
And so now you
Just
have a
gonna
great
repeat it?
question.
I'm going to repeat Ernie's question.
Oh,
All right.
It's Ernie's great question. Okay.
So, Ernie, you asked us earlier,
Yes.
you said the Indiana Pacers got the second or third best record in,
Number 3 in the East coming in.
and you said, why don't people consider them contenders?
Why isn't anybody talking about him?
Because you just saw why right there tonight. Because they can't beat Boston, they can't beat Milwaukee, and they can't beat Philly, they can't beat Toronto. Like Kenny said, they're a nice collection of players, but they can't beat. This is just my person.
They're 1-1 with Boston. They're 1-2 now with Philly.
I'm talking in a 7-game series.
Okay, all right.
They can't beat them top 4 teams.
Well, yeah, and you know, the biggest thing that, you know, I thought is just as great as Victor Oladipo. He's an NBA All-Star. But against those 4 teams, he's the second best player on the floor, you know, in 7 games. He will have nights where he could be the best player on the floor. But, you know, Embiid, Giannis, and Kawhi are top 3 players. They're the top 3 out of maybe 5 in basketball. They're one of the top 5 guys in basketball. So 3 of the top 5 guys in basketball are in the Eastern Conference. That's the only difference.
And I think Oladipo, you know, he is played like an all-star at times, but I think he has more 6 for 20s than he has miraculous games. I think if he can step it up just a little more on a consistent basis, then maybe they have a shot.
And I don't think that's enough. And Underdog just told me a stat. They're only 9-9 against teams above 500 in the NBA.
Right. Against Boston and Philly and Milwaukee.
And Toronto.
And Toronto, they are 3-6 now with this loss to Philadelphia.
So just to answer your question, Ernest.
All right. Yeah, I asked you a question and you asked me a question, and here are the highlights.
Great young player, though.
Saw Reggie Miller with
Man up.
There go my man Sergi.
He was there when you was there?
Yeah.
You just know anybody who's rubbing somebody's back.
No, he gives me massages during the summer.
I know he does. You in the steam rooms.
with a low-kai bracelet.
He don't get a bracelet, though.
Again, Embiid working on that lower back, which we thought it might keep him out of the game, but he did play.
He's a little dramatic, too, so we never know what's
22,
happening.
13, and 8 on the night.
Way to play through it, big dog.
Yeah, he said he's a warrior. I know that because he told me.
He didn't tell you. He told Roz Gold on Woody.
You know, I'm a warrior. I'm here for my team.
Oh, that's what he said?
Yeah. That dude is hilarious.
Warriors come out to play.
You can't tell people you're a warrior.
People got to tell you that.
Yeah. And you can't tell people you're a leader.
Oh,
Okay.
damn.
Oh, now his head might hurt.
Man up, man up.
So it's a 67-59 Philadelphia lead, and there's Embiid going to work.
Back look all right there, I'm kidding.
Because he's a warrior.
He's say.
Is he a Golden State Warrior?
Thaddeus Young knocks down the 3, so they're trying to get back in it, down 6.
Oh, good move, Jermaine.
Oh.
Butler there, and then
I really hope
Embiid.
I really hope the Sixers get themselves together, man.
They're getting it together.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Look at that. Ah.
They got 8 out of their last 11 games.
Well, they should, though. They should. Like, they're in the conversation, the best team in the East, man.
Oh.
Yeah, no question. It's starting to show.
All they got to do is keep playing and stop worrying about who's doing what.
That's exactly right, Shaq.
Just play. It's everybody's team. Oh, give me that.
What is nice pass.
Just got to get it up sometime, Tariq.
Sabonis there and Tyreek Evans there. The 10-0 run.
Come on, pass the ball.
Yeah, he found
Pass it.
He found it.
That ball should have
Scala.
been top
top of the key.
Thank you.
I would agree.
And the Philadelphia 76ers, as they begin this 12-game stretch against teams with winning records. And step 1, pretty easy, 120-96. That's an impressive win on the road at the Fieldhouse over the.
The Raptors might have. They're one of the deepest teams.
Without question.
They're unbelievable.
So that game last night, 117-108. The Celtics beat the Raptors. Kyrie Irving had 18 assists in that game for Boston. And then everybody's talking about what he had to say after the game, and when he talked about having called LeBron James to apologize for being like that, one of those young players
that he's playing with now, basically.
So what did you think when you heard that revelation from?
I didn't like it at all.
From Kyrie.
I didn't like it at all. Number one, it would seem like he was saying, we're losing because of these guys. They're young. They don't know how to win. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals without him last year. Ernie, you don't have to tell people you're a leader. Just be a leader. That kid played great last night. The assists were important. That's one of the few games I've seen where he really made a conscious effort to make everybody around him better. But this notion where this thing like, I call LeBron because he taught me how to be a leader. Well, then be a leader. You don't have to tell us you're a leader. I did not like it at all because what he said to me, and I get through the BS, Ernie. Hey, we're losing because these young guys in the locker room. And I didn't like it at all.
Whenever you start a press conference off with these guys, sort of like you're alienating yourself. It's like you're telling the younger guys, I'm better than you. I've been to the finals. You don't know what you're talking about. I thought by him sitting on the bench last year, watching how the young guys play, he should use that to his advantage, right, Kenny?
Yeah, I agree. I think
you got to come in and you got to keep these guys involved. It'll make your game easier. Why, try to dribble and score all the points when you got a youngster on a wing that's ready to run and, break his neck for you. You got to use them to make yourself better.
Well, I would hope that when he did call LeBron, LeBron said, well, don't tell anyone about this conversation.
Thank you.
Because, yeah, it might be a conversation you need to talk about with somebody who's done it, but I don't think it was a public conversation.
And that's why they always say, sorry to cut, that's why they always say, be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
You wanted to be the man, now you're the man.
Yeah, and because what it does, I've been the other. In college I was the guy. In pros I was the other. So I understand what that feels like. And being the other, I think I said this earlier, I never had to, when the guy told me he was the man, he wasn't the man to me. Like, we will anoint you, we will exalt you, we will put you on our shoulders to let you know we need you. But when you tell me to pick you up and put you, I'm not doing that. And I think overall what Kyrie will learn, and probably is in the process of learning now, is that being the best scorer on the team doesn't make you the leader. Being the best rebounder on the team doesn't make you the leader, or being the best assist guy. It's an overall conjunction of walking on, like, even with Akeem Olajuwon was never late for the bus. Never. Forget it. It wasn't something he walked around and say, I'm never late. But you walk on the bus, you'd see Akeem. He'd be there. After practice, playing one-on-one. You just see things that happens, and you start to go, this guy not only is doing what everyone else is doing and more, but then when the game comes, he produces more. So all of a sudden, he becomes a leader. Kyrie is in the process of being a leader.
But Shaq
that is something, a conversation that should not have happened.
It should not have been made.
Do you not think this was in part, when you look at it, saying that this guy is growing up and this guy is maturing a little bit more now, and he's
because like Shaq
admitting where he was wrong?
He says, no. Because like Shaq said, he says, when I call LeBron, I said, I want to apologize because I used to be a young guy like these young guys, and I think I wanted everything handed to me. So he threw the guys under the bus.
So he's saying that they wanted handed to them.
Yeah. He says, dude, we made it to the conference finals without you. Yeah. Your job is to get us past the conference finals. We were in game 7 in the finals last year.
5 minutes left in the game.
Yes,
we could have won.
Yes, and you are our highest paid player. You are a quote-unquote superstar. If you won the championship before, and your thing is, well, the reason we're not winning now because these guys are too young. They don't know how to win. Boy, are you kidding me?
Boy, what you would have did to him?
I whooped his ass. Yo, man, you can't be calling me out like that.
Yeah, I think he's learning the process.
Down.
Come on, man.
Because he's a great,
young
player, learning the process. But he didn't have to give us that conversation to the media. He didn't have to give that conversation.
Lakers and Oklahoma City Thunder.
Hey, listen, our show sucked because of you, Ernie.
Coming your way moments from now.
Our show sucked because of Ernie Johnson, America.
Hey, don't you owe me some money?
I do owe you $1,000.
Joel Embiid has been bothered by a bad back. Didn't know if he's going to play or not, but it looks like he will play tonight for the Sixers as They take on Victor Oladipo and the Indiana Pacers, who are number 3 in the East. 2 of the top 4 teams in the East squaring off here on TNT. We're going to the Fieldhouse next. Well, here we go. Studio J in Atlanta. Got a pretty good doubleheader here.
I'm looking forward to both games tonight.
Sixers and the Pacers with Kevin Harlan. Reggie Miller going back to Indiana to call that game tonight with RGO, Rosgold and Woody. And then we got the Lakers and the Thunder. And here inside Studio J, Ernie Johnson.
That's not a good one.
Shaquille O'Neal.
That's a beatdown.
Kenny Smith.
I miss you, Charles.
Just a bit beat down.
Charles.
I haven't laughed
Barkley.
since last
Hey, let's
Thursday.
enjoy this first game. That second game is going to be a ass-kicking.
You never know.
You do know.
No,
Have you seen the Lakers play?
You never.
They lost to the Cavaliers the other night.
Yeah, you never.
And I must have been really bored to watch that game.
You did.
Oh, we were texting each other.
We
We were texting each other during the game.
Are you watching this?
Are you watching the Lakers against the Cavaliers? I mean, that's how bad our lives are right now.
That is a sad commentary on your life.
It was.
I thought you're better than
I
that.
texted him. I was like, "Are you watching this game?" He's
I was
like,
texting each
he's
other?
like,
Yeah, we were.
Because I flew back with you. We had a different.
Oh, must be
text
nice
me,
to have a
Ernie?
private jet.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, that wasn't me. I'm on Delta, baby.
Oh, hey, must be nice to have a big old private jet.
Yeah, it was nice.
So anyway, Philadelphia, Indiana, they've played twice already this year. Home team has not won a game yet. And Philadelphia embarking on a real interesting chunk of schedule right now. Next 12 games, all against teams with winning records. So here's what Philadelphia's got.
Yeah,
They got at Indiana tonight, then home with OKC, home with the Rockets, home with the Spurs, and then on the road to Denver, the Lakers, Golden State, Sacramento, and then back home for Toronto, Denver, the Lakers, and Boston.
Well, let me say this about the Sixers. They're not embarking on a trip. They're embarking on their season. Ernie, Kenny talks about it all the time. At some point, you have to figure out what you are. The Sixers are still fumbling around. Same thing with the Celtics. At some point during the season, we're coming up on the All-Star break. The Sixers got to figure out a pecking order. And this is going to be a make-or-break trip for them because when they come back,
A stretch of games, a stretch of 12 games.
But when you play against the elite teams, you can't be going into February and March trying to say, well, whose team is it? What type? Are we a defensive team? We're an offensive team?
Whose team is it, Kenny?
Well, this is what Shaq and I were just talking about.
Whose team is it?
We hate that phrase, whose team is it? You know, it's because if I average 18 rebounds, is it my team? If I average 12 assists, is it my team? If I average 30 points, is my team? Everyone has a job to do that they are really good at. This is what should happen. Ben Simmons creates the pace every time.
Yep.
He's the guy who's going to get the ball to create the pace of what it is. Offensively, we're going through Joel Embiid.
Yep.
And defensively, Jimmy Butler will secure and anchor everything out front. That's how we play.
Yeah, but
the problem.
That's how we play.
Go ahead, Shaq.
The problem with these teams, and I actually had this problem. Sometimes we worry about nonsense rather than having communications. Once Phil sat me and Kobe down and said, okay, Shaq, we're coming to you early, and if you're not hitting the free throws, Kobe's going to take over the game. Once I accepted that, see, we're not worried about the pecking order. Kobe's the man, I'm the man, we did it together. And like I was telling Kenny next door, forget the pecking order. The others also have to play well, but the guys have to keep the others involved. So I think the guys are worried about whose team is it and do this, that. Kenny, you make a great point. Ben, run. Get it to Embiid. Jimmy Butler, you take the last shot. And others, y'all got to step up.
And I always, as an
It's a simple game. That's how you win a simple game.
I only respected the guy when he didn't say he was the guy.
Exactly.
When he told me he was the guy, I'm like, you ain't the guy.
Yeah.
You ain't the guy. If you got to tell me you the guy, you ain't the guy.
See, and
I would never relinquish my responsibility to him then. But if you show me through your work ethic and do what you do on the court, yeah, we can talk about that.
First of all, it's a great point. Both of y'all got great points. But two things. Number one, I ain't never going to call you
the guy.
And no, because you don't have to tell me. And I don't have to call you and say, hey, Charles, you're doing your job.
Right.
No, that's your damn job to be the leader. You don't have to tell me you're the leader. I don't have to call no other player and says, hey, I really appreciate what you taught me when I played with you. No, I followed you. But to get back to the original point, if Joel Embiid is still talking about shots if Jimmy Butler is talking to the coach about, well, I'm not happy with my role, that's the problem with the Sixers. Brett Brown's got to sit them down and says, yo, Ben, I agree with Kenny. When we going fast, you're the guy. You get everybody involved. Joel Embiid, we're in the half court. We're going to go through you. Jimmy, you're a really good player, but we brought you here to help us win. Not complain about how many touches you get and things like that.
Well, we got time. Let's check out Indiana, because this is a team that's been flying underneath that radar that's always talking about Toronto and Milwaukee and Boston and Philly, and they got the third best record in the Eastern Conference at 29-14. And Victor Oladipo's numbers are not as good as they were, but they're good enough. Miles Turner has seemed to improve. Domantas Sabonis might be the sixth man of the year.
They're really good, Ernie, to collectively.
Yeah.
And the issue is, at one point, if you watch a game, as great as Victor Oladipo is, and he's a heck of a talent, but when he plays against the elite team, they don't have the best player on the floor. That's what scares everyone else to say, well, we're going with Indiana. Because when you play against Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis is the best player on the floor. When you play against Toronto Raptors, Kawhi is the best. When you play in the Western Conference, we can go down the line as well. So all of a sudden, your best player sometimes isn't the best player on the court. So collectively, they do it. And can you believe in a collection? Well, and that's when it comes down to a play or two in a game.
Other than the coach in Brooklyn, Nate McMillan has done a fantastic job. And
Kenny Atkinson.
Kenny Atkinson, he's done because the Nets they've been fantastic all year. Sean Marks. Oh, no, I'm talking about in the East.
Oh, in the East, okay.
Mike Malone. First of all, I got to call up my Denver Nuggets too tonight.
Okay.
But Mike Malone has done a fantastic job.
Tired of talking about your Nuggets every week.
Ernie, I was so pissed the other night at the Nuggets.
But they're 7 out of the last 10 games.
No. When a guy, Kenny, you know, Shaq, you know this. There's
Are
big.
the Nuggets playing tonight?
No, but they got big games. There's big games. Am I right?
Right.
Oh, they got smacked.
And the Warriors came to their house, slapped them, beat their kids up, took their lunch money, and left. You cannot do that.
Oh yeah, I see how it ran up. Okay.
That's my man Serge. He's a Sixers masseuse.
Anytime he's eating grapes and getting a massage on a court,
I would hope
he's playing. You know he's playing.
Auto Trader All-Star Drive.
I'm in second place now.
Yes, you are. And we've got tonight and we've got next Thursday night.
Oh, Chico.
That's it. And this was huge over the weekend. Little
Eric,
Bennett.
man.
Little
Eric
Bennett.
Done.
Eric and Quinn with their first baby
Wait, did
girl.
you name the kid Bennett?
Yes. That's Quinn and Eric named their little girl Bennett Quinn Johnson.
Okay, Bennett Johnson.
I thought it was going to be.
I guess
They said they were going to name it after us.
I was like, what happened to like Charles Kenny Barkley?
Yeah. What happened to that? They promised us that.
They are wise.
Congratulations, Ernie.
Thank you.